A child in the United States is 10 times more likely to be unintentionally killed with a gun. Our women are being killed at much, much higher rates in terms of homicide than any other developed country. And we have by far the most permissive, the most weak gun laws. I began my research into gun violence about 20-some years ago. I was an injury researcher and still am, and I just started to do a little work about guns. Guns were the second leading cause of injury death.
He opened fire with 3 weapons, shooting indiscriminately.
In the 1980s, the Institute of Medicine issued a report that violence and injuries were a big public health problem. This led to the Centers for Disease Control getting some money to actually create an injury branch to begin seriously looking at all of injury and violence, including gun violence. Some of the initial findings were that it appeared that a gun in the home was a risk factor for death, that it wasn't being protective. And this created a major controversy, a political controversy, unfortunately, rather than a scientific controversy. And so instead of trying to study the problem more, research was effectively prevented.
We spend over $1 trillion and pass countless laws and devote entire agencies to preventing terrorist attacks on our soil, and rightfully so. And yet, we have a Congress that explicitly blocks us from even collecting data on how we could potentially reduce gun deaths. How can that be?
If I had done this research about automobiles or about stairways, there would not have been such a response. And I'm not really much of an advocate. What I am is an advocate for good science and trying to disseminate what the scientific studies have shown. What we know in the United States is that there were more guns, there was more death. There's no reason that we are such an anomaly compared to every other developed country. We have sort of similar rates of car theft, similar rates of burglary, similar rates of robbery, similar rates of sexual assault. Where we are so different is that we have many, many handguns, and we have by far the most permissive, the most weak gun laws. And so not surprisingly, I think we have by far the most gun deaths and by far the most overall homicides.